And we are delighted to have with us Greg Schulze, Senior Vice President and General Manager, Strategic Travel Partners for Expedia Group. And he's going to share with us fresh off the press research on traveler values. So over to you, Greg.
Hello, Suhoon. Hi, everyone. Yeah, today I'm going to share some findings from a study that Expedia recently conducted with a company called Wakefield Research, in which we surveyed 8,000 people from 8 major markets, including Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Japan, Mexico, the UK, and US. Now, I have loads of data. If we can go, yep, there we go. I have loads of data, and don't worry, I've summarized it for you today, but we do have the detail available for anyone who's interested. But let's jump on in. I'm going to start with good news. We know that more people are going to remote locations than ever before. People want the mountains, the beach, and especially vacation rentals, which have had a great start to 2021. In fact, Vrbo, our vacation rental brand, is off to its best start ever. So 81% of travelers will travel to the remote area, beaches, mountain, or small town in the next 18 months. However, searches for cities are also increasing across our marketplace. In May and June, we saw a really healthy lift in numbers for large European cities, as well as Australia and the US. I was recently in a very active New York City, and I can definitely attest that as vaccinations increase, people really do want to go to these amazing destinations. But it is clear that vaccines are critical for recovering travel. Logistics and documentation can also be tricky, but most of our respondents were comfortable with the concept of a vaccine passport. Travelers in Mexico and the UK are especially comfortable with the idea, with more than 80% of respondents in those markets saying that they would be fine showing a proof of vaccination. Like you all said earlier, most of us are tired of languishing. And our survey showed that people are certainly prioritizing travel. For 1 in 5, travel will be the thing that they spend the most money on in 2021, more than home renovations, entertainment, even healthcare. And the best part is that more than a third have a larger travel budget compared to 2020. And most plan to use travel as a way to reconnect with friends and family. And I think all of us can say that this pause in travel has really made us realize how important it is to connect with each other, to connect with our communities and connect with other cultures. At Expedia, we really believe travel is a force for good because it does teach us so much about ourselves and our world. And according to the research, travelers say that new experiences are the top benefit of travel, followed by physical and mental health benefits. Half of people travel to learn about other cultures and communities through trips. And then travel also encourages self-discovery. A third of respondents use travel to become a more well-rounded person. Earlier in the session, Suhoon asked you all about sustainable travel. Our survey had a similar result. We found that nearly 3 in 5 travelers are willing to spend more to make their trip more sustainable. And as Juliet powerfully articulated, demonstrating a commitment to our environment is more important than ever. We also found that travelers, especially those under the age of 40, are placing high importance on values-driven travel experience. Nearly 2/3 of travelers say they're willing to book with providers that have, that they're more willing to book with providers that have inclusive policies. And this would include accommodations or businesses owned by underrepresented people groups or those welcoming to the LGBTQIA community, people with disabilities. And so booking decisions based on inclusive policies and practices is increasing, and it's a global trend, but you definitely see some variation by country. As part of this survey, we developed our first ever Traveler Value Index, which is a custom analysis of responses to specialized questions designed to capture what travelers are looking for when booking. And we asked respondents to rank 7 values across multiple travel experiences. And Suhoon pointed out that travel is complex, and travel decisions have always been complex because people travel for a variety of reasons with different motivations. But like so many of the rest of our life, other behaviors, the way we shop, the way we go to school or do our jobs, the pandemic has dramatically changed travel. And so we wanted to really understand how it's changed and what people are prioritizing. And what we found was perhaps not surprising, but it was a significant and important shift. According to the research, travelers now value full refunds the most, which is really a huge shift from the conventional wisdom that price is all that drives consumer behavior. In fact, price fell to the number 3 spot globally, behind the ability to get a refund and enhanced cleaning. After months of uncertainty, travelers are focused on new, more pressing values and deprioritizing even their own bottom line. This means that discounting travel to entice bookings is probably not the answer in this landscape. Instead, the industry will need to adapt to these new expectations and provide more flexibility. We also need to reassure travelers that the environment will be safe, will be clean, and just recognize that we're thinking differently about our trips. Travelers have, if you look at across the different markets, travelers have unique needs and values. And here in the United States, where I am currently, travelers ranked enhanced cleaning as a top priority above all else for hotels and car rentals. In Japan, environmentally friendly policies rank notably higher than the environmental ranking across other markets. And in Australia, travelers there value flexible policies more than other markets, particularly for hotels and vacation rentals, perhaps because of the off and on restrictions that they've experienced there. But we need to tailor strategies. And if you look at the stats, you can see some interesting divergences in the Traveler Value Index at the demographic level. And like I said, Suhoon has mentioned this several times today. Travel can be complex. This data highlights for me how important it is to cater to specific groups. Let me also share a few things that we've learned through the Traveler Value Index that may point to where the industry is heading and what we might expect in the next year. People are really craving new experiences, new places, new foods, even new transportation. I think it's just that our year and a half now at home has made us eager to travel outside of our comfort zones and to really try something different. 3/4 of travelers are likely to select a destination they've never been to before. And more than a half are likely to take a mode of transportation they've never taken before. And finally, I'm definitely in this bucket, nearly 1/4 are seeking once-in-a-lifetime experiences on their next trip. So definitely thinking differently about our travel. We also know that for the short term, most travelers will opt for domestic and shorter trips, perhaps more frequently. And we saw this validated not just in our survey, but Expedia search data, where 60% of our searches from January to March of 2021 were for domestic travel within 3 weeks of booking. So people are staying a little closer to home and they're booking a bit more last minute. But the outlook for international travel is improving. More than 1/4 are eyeing a trip to another country in the next 12 months. I think Suhoon, that would be 100% in Singapore. At Expedia, we're seeing this in our search data. International searches across the board are increasing, and people want to get out. So what's next? For more than a year, I guess 18 months now, the world could only dream of travel. And like so many of you, my life felt incomplete without seeing my friends and family, even my coworkers. I missed them all. I even missed jumping on the plane and staying in random hotels. But as travel professionals, we're not just providing a seat or a bed. We're helping people rediscover their world, to reconnect with the people and the places that matter most. And Suhoon, travel is beautiful. All of us need and crave that beautiful travel. So let's get out there.
Thank you, Greg. You know, you're making me yearn for travel, and it's really positive. And you know, the results that you're sharing, and we can't wait to get out there, because I know that you've been traveling, You know, we miss you in Singapore, by the way, Greg. We miss you
I
in Singapore.
wish I was with you in person.
And I know that as soon as you could, like you were traveling, you've taken a holiday in Hawaii and you've done your first business trip to New York, you know, since then. You know, what I found really interesting in the study was the finding that more than 1/3 of people would trade a pay raise for more vacation days. And you found that this was most prevalent in Japan. Just speak to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. We do another survey called the Vacation Deprivation Survey, and we've always found that people don't use all of their vacation days. In some places, it's more pronounced than others. I think people are going to use their vacation days, and I mean, I don't know. My boss might be watching. I'm not sure if I would necessarily trade pay raise for. Are they mutually exclusive, right? I think the survey assumes that they are. But people need to travel. I think for our mental health, for our just general well-being, and you know, money's not everything.
Yeah, and I guess this period has also, you know, made people really rethink work, right? And now there's a lot of
Yeah.
conversation about 4-day work weeks, for example, right? You know, why did we have to do 5 days? You know, why does it have to be Monday to Fridays? You know, like, you know, everything is up for grabs, right? And I guess, you know, the most radical among us is going to kind of shake the apple cart here.
Yeah, absolutely. And our every aspect of our lives has changed from this experience, and travel is going to be part of that. So I think it's naive and really counterproductive to say, you know, that we want to go back or let's get some normalcy. That people, all of us, want to move forward, and the travel industry needs to look forward.
Right. So suppliers really have to, you know, basically be ahead of this trend, right? You know, and not sort of go back to the same old way of doing things, but really, you know, feed the consumer appetite for new stuff, new transportation, new experiences, right? You know, and one of the things
Yeah.
that I also found interesting is that, you know, 1 in 5 travelers expect travel to be the thing they spend most on in 2021. So, you know, people have larger travel budgets. What I found interesting was it said here in your study, it says travel will be the top spending item for Gen Z and millennials. However, home renovation projects are top for both Gen X and boomers. I mean, honestly. And
Well, I have a hard time keeping track of who's who and which I'm in, but I think all of us are looking around our house trying to figure out, you know, what we need to improve because we're spending so much time here. But no, I think once you get a taste of travel, get out of your house, and you know, we're all gonna spend a lot of money on that, I'd say.
yeah, and there's also, you know, I've been reading articles about, you know, there's going to be this mass resignation of people, you know, like they're going to quit their jobs and they're going to take sabbaticals. The number of my friends have reached me to say next year they're taking sabbaticals, incredible. So, you know, definitely we're going to see a lot more travel from those people. Now, I want to talk about car trips before we end because, you know, Expedia is very kindly giving us a prize, you know, which is a road trip, you know, and
Yeah.
I got some data from your people, and it said here comparing search dates in June 2021 versus May 2021 for car rental pickup dates in July. Searches are up by over 135% month on month, right? And then if you compare search dates June 2021 versus June 2019 for pickup dates in July, searches are up over 115%. So car rental in the US is huge. Okay, wait, I have a message coming in. I think it's a question. A question from the audience. Okay, why do we have to trade a pay raise for vacation days? Can't we use what we've learned to work remotely? All right. Okay. It's a great
Agreed.
question, right? Agree. Okay. So talking about car rental, I just want to remind the audience here that Expedia is giving away to our roadshow attendees, those who attend or watch all 6 episodes. We're trying to build loyal roadies here. You know, they win a lucky draw to win a voucher on Expedia.com worth $1,000, and they can spend it on air, lodging, and car. So the full road trip dream.
Right.
To come and visit you, Greg.
That's right. And I every good road trip needs a playlist. We have a WiT playlist we're going to
Totally.
provide.
Totally,
All right.
totally. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. You add your song to
Thanks.
our
Great to see
playlist.
you.
Thank you, Greg. Thank
All
you for
right.
waking up
Bye.
so early in the morning for this. Thank you.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Always. Thanks.